The John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts is the National Cultural Center of the United States, located on the eastern bank of the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. It was named in 1964 as a memorial to assassinated President John F. Kennedy. Opened on September 8, 1971, the center hosts many different genres of performance art, such as theater, dance, classical music, jazz pop, psychedelic, and folk music. It is the official residence of the National Symphony Orchestra and the Washington National Opera. Authorized by the 1958 National Cultural Center Act of Congress, which requires that its programming be sustained through private funds, the center represents a public-private partnership. Its activities include educational and outreach initiatives, almost entirely funded through ticket sales and gifts from individuals, corporations, and private foundations. The original building, designed by architect Edward Durell Stone, was constructed by Philadelphia contractor John McShain and is administered as a bureau of the Smithsonian Institution. An earlier design proposal called for a more curvy, spaceship-inspired building similar to how the Watergate complex appears today. An extension to the Durell Stone building was designed by Stephen Hall and opened in 2019. The center receives annual federal funding to pay for building maintenance and operation. The idea for a National Cultural Center dates to 1933, when First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt discussed ideas for the Emergency Relief and Civil Works Administration to create employment for unemployed actors during the Great Depression. Congress held hearings in 1935 on plans to establish a cabinet-level Department of Science, Art, and Literature, and to build a monumental theater and arts building on Capitol Hill near the Supreme Court building. A 1938 congressional resolution called for construction of a public building which shall be known as the National Cultural Center near Judiciary Square, but nothing materialized. The idea for a national theater resurfaced in 1950, when U.S. Representative Arthur George Klein of New York introduced a bill to authorize funds to plan and build a cultural center. The bill included provisions that the center would prohibit any discrimination of caste or audience. In 1955, the Stanford Research Institute was commissioned to select a site and provide design suggestions for the center. From 1955 to 1958, Congress debated the idea amid much controversy. A bill was finally passed in Congress in the summer of 1958, and on September 4, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed into law the National Cultural Center Act, which provided momentum for the project. This was the first time that the federal government helped finance a structure dedicated to the performing arts. The legislation required a portion of the costs, estimated at $10.25 million, to be raised within 5 years of the bill's passage. Edward Durell Stone was selected as architect for the project in June 1959.